and challenges. Thank you for having me here. And it's a privilege to be sharing the stage with the principal, Dr. Sister Stella Mary, Dr. Kala Vijay Kumar, Pro-Chancellor of SNU and President of SSN Institutions, Sister Judith Anita Gonzalez, Ms. Yamini, Head of Department of Business Administration, and Dr. Deepa, Assistant Professor, Department of Business Administration, Dr. Renuka Devi, Assistant Professor and Assistant Professor, Business Administration, Ms. Aarti Infanta, who had a very long introduction for me, and thank you for that, and I'll definitely try to live up to be the person you introduced me as. And it was a great privilege and pleasure meeting Tulasi Mati Murugesan, the amazing, resilient sportswoman of this country. It was a great, proud moment for me. And thank you, the students of Stella Maris, and my special thanks to Ms. Swati, who reached out and invited me to this program. Women in leadership, opportunities and challenges. I think it is a very, very relevant topic today, and because women are breaking barriers. Women no longer see the glass ceiling. We don't believe there are any more glass ceilings to break. So we have challenges and we have to look at the opportunities in front of us. It would be a lie to say that there are no challenges, everything has changed. In Parliament today, we have only 13% women representing this country. So the challenges are real. And every sector, I think it was mentioned here by Dr. Kala and others, that in leadership roles, whether it is running institutions or corporate companies, being judges, being in sports, it is a challenge to be a woman. I remember something which I read long ago. This dark-skinned person in a European country, he parks his car in a differently abled parking space. And somebody comes up to him and says, "So this is not the space for you. It's for a differently abled person." He says, "Can't you see? Can't you look at my skin color? And you think I'm not disabled?" So that is how the world treated Indians or people from Africa, and still do. But being a woman is not an easy thing. You are born and you are taught to believe that you are inferior. Your parents believe you're inferior. The society believes that you are less than somebody because you are a woman. Your education, your freedom, your rights, everything is second to somebody else. Your work is recognized much less compared to somebody else. Your intelligence is rated much less compared to somebody else. Recently, when the Chief Minister of Delhi was selected, after the elections were over and of course there were deliberations within the party, and they selected a woman as a Chief Minister of Delhi. And a fellow member of Parliament, immediately the remark I heard from him was, mentioned another name who could have also become the chief minister and said he lost out because he was a man. I immediately asked him, so why didn't you say that all these women leaders, and I had a list which I think is inappropriate to be mentioning here. He said, why didn't it even bother you that when all these women lost out because they were women? It did not bother anybody. But just when a woman, after so much of hard work, becomes the chief minister of the state, you say she's there only because she's a woman and it was reserved for her. So this is the way the world perceives us. This is the way the world looks at us. But has things changed? Yes, it has. But the first conflict, the first hurdle which we have to cross is, one, the society in which we live in, our families. Because they don't intend any harm to us. They want to protect us. They want to make sure that nothing hurts us. But living in an incubated space, living in a sterile zone which they create for us, is not a life which you want to live, or I think it is not a life which allows you to be creative, allows you to reinvent yourself, allows you to make any change in this world. So we have to learn to break out of this sterile zones. We have to learn to have the confidence that we will go across, we'll break the barriers. Barriers are not built out of stone or mortar or iron or anything. It is sometimes built out of love, affection, family bonds. And these are the bonds, these are the shackles which are very, very, very difficult to break. But yet, I think it is a duty of every woman to break from this, break free from this. And the next biggest hurdle is we are not made to believe that we deserve what we get. Every time, I'm sure many of them on stage, and sometimes including me, I'm ashamed to say that. But when you are given a position, when you are elevated, when you are given an opportunity, the first question which comes to our mind is, will we be able to rise up to this challenge? Do I deserve this? I think we should stop this question in our minds, because every one of you here deserve this and much more, and you are capable of the change, and you are the change. For generations, women who've stayed at home have been made to believe that they are not leaders. They haven't done anything to change society. But actually they've been running a total, complete economy. Without our mothers, our grandmothers, I don't think families could have been held together. I don't think the family's economics, the income, could have been protected, could have been saved, could have been passed on to the next generations. But we never took credit. We never understood how much of economics we understood, how much of leadership it required, how much of networking it needed, how much of being able to understand nuances, human emotions it needed to run a family. Today we just have to, you have all that inherited intelligence. You just have to apply it to a larger scale. Women understand. I mean, the world can go on without women leaders, without women participation. Today, in India, in the workforce, women's participation is falling. But of course, in Tamil Nadu, we can proudly say that 42% of the working population of this country comes from one single state, Tamil Nadu. And I think it is thanks to leaders like Periyar. He was one great visionary. I think every girl here has to read Periyar. It is a request, a recommendation, because he was one leader who did not hesitate, who did not say women's right this far and no further. Never. He said to achieve your dreams, to reach where you want to, break every hurdle, break everything, nothing matters. Your dream is what is important, and reaching there is the only thing which is important. Never said you have responsibilities at home, you have domestic responsibilities. He never spoke about all that. Like many of my friends here there are many journalists here. One of the most important questions for them when I have interviews with them is if I know to cook. I've never understood why it bothers them so much that I'm not going to cook for them. So why does it actually make so much difference to them if a woman leader can cook or not? I'm really happy and thank their good luck or whatever it is that they did not ask the Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu, who was our ex-Chief Minister Jayalalitha, the same question. I really don't know what she would have done. But that is a question they have to ask any women leader. You can run a corporate company, you can head a nation, but still they'll come and ask you, how do you balance work and family? How do you, do you find time to cook? Do you find time to take care of your children? Do you find time to take care of your families? I've never ever heard anybody asking such questions to my father. They're very happy if he didn't even know that which class his children studied in. He was not a father like that, thank God, but still. It didn't matter to them. Nobody believes that a man needs a balance. And Thanthi Periyar was one leader who did not insist on this so-called balance. He believed that we have to go ahead and reach our dreams, achieve our dreams. So to do that, I think first is believing in yourself, rethinking, reinventing, and believing and building that confidence. And I think, as it was mentioned, networking. What we do, your friends here in college, the minute you step out, at the most, we keep in touch with one or two friends. And after that, it's a completely new world you build again, depending on wherever you are, whatever is comfortable for people around you. I think this is something which every woman leader here has to understand. Keep in touch, help each other, reach out to each other, reach out to your friends, build networks to support each other. That is the basis of any business, any industry, any progress. So this is something which all women have to learn, that we have to keep in touch and be there for each other. And again, I'd like to say, believe in yourselves. There is nothing that you cannot achieve, and there is nothing in this world which you do not deserve. This is something I think every day you'll have to think about and believe that you deserve to be where you are. It is not your brother, it is not your uncle, it is not your husband, it is not your father who has to be there. It has to be you who has to be there to make sure that you're an inspiration to future generations and also make this world into a more safer space for women. Unless we have more women leaders, unless we have more women leading different sectors, This world is not going to become a safer space because men are not going, they can have the best of intentions. I cannot say that they don't have intentions to see change, but only a woman can understand the challenges, the abuses which we face day in and day out. And only a woman leader can make that space into a safer space for the rest of the women who come in. Because there are challenges every day. 50 years ago, it was physical challenges. But today, we have an entire world of cyberspace. We have challenges there. We are being abused there. And tomorrow, technology is not going to stop. It's just going to keep progressing. And the challenges there are going to be completely different and new. So we have to prepare ourselves to face those challenges. And yes, the most important thing which I'd like to share is the biggest weapon society uses against women in public spaces, in life, who want to actually break whatever space has been allocated to them and come out of it, step out of it and make a change. It's personal assassination, character assassination, slander. Sometimes people ask me, how do you face it? It's two things. Who do I have to prove who I am? It is only me. And maybe people very close to me who might get affected. And who are these people who are actually abusing us? When you think about them, do they even have the right or the character integrity to be challenging anybody's character? When you actually look at those people, you will only laugh to yourself. It sounds like a bad joke. So it is within you whether you want to yield to that slander, to that assassination, or rise ahead, go above that and say, my work will speak for itself. And I do not have to waste time answering all this. Then again, it is within you, because you have to believe who you are to make that change, to break all the barriers. It is within you, girls, to go forth and lead this world, because this world deserves more leaders like you. This world has to learn to be inclusive and welcome more women in every space possible to make it a better world, to make it a world which understands both sides. Because you cannot have laws, you cannot have one-sided world vision. It's not going to help anybody. And look what the world has come to. Climate change and issues like that, when we always had a one-sided world vision. So we have to ensure that this world is a safe place. We have to ensure that there's more leadership from women, more leaders participating in making sure what this world becomes in future. And all the best to all of you. And it's a great initiative. I'd like to just ask a few questions. What do you think are actually the challenges which women face? What do you, from your perspective, if somebody can tell me that? What do you think is your biggest challenge? Come on, get up and talk. How are you going to lead this world if you don't? See? Please, yes. Pardon? Sexism, yeah. I mean, it's not just now, it's always been there. Anybody else? Yeah.
This way. So you should be cautious of how people look at you. So yeah, ma'am, I guess that's the biggest issue.
You wanted to say?
So recently I read this article. So in that there was this phrase said that, women are expected to work like they do not have kids at home and mother their children like they do not have work to do. So this phrase especially resonated with me. Because right now my sister she's a very hardworking interior designer and she just delivered a kid and she's going around with her child, like her 8-month-old child, around to her sites. But still people expect like, why are you taking your daughter to her sites? Is it not safe for her? But how can she leave her work alone in that way also in regard? So that phase really resonated with me.
Anybody else? Anything?
They face a lot of gender bias and it's very unconscious also sometimes, and there's a lot of discrimination against them in the workplaces, and like ma'am mentioned, a lot of stereotypes that women should be like this. But nowadays women are breaking the gender norms and coming forward very bravely. And also one more thing, like you said ma'am, they valued more on their domestic responsibilities rather than for their talent or their skills. That's what I wanted to mention.
Thank you. This is a man's world, we accept it or not. See, this podium, everywhere, when you, even in this college, it is not, made for women to feel comfortable. We need a stool to stand on, to use this podium. It is not custom made for us. It is made for the men. And if a woman wants to use it, she has to use a platform to stand on it and address. So everything is custom made for the male gender in this world. And when you are coming into it, men never had to carry the children, they never had to, take responsibilities. At the most they had to work and earn. And sexism, yes, because they haven't seen us outside their kitchens. So it scares them, it scares people. So and of course parents want to protect us, these barriers are made of love. They want to protect us, they want to keep you safe. So I think what you have said actually covers everything a woman faces today. You are expected to balance, you are expected to be, a great mother, a great, person who takes care of her family, her house, and also be an amazing career person who, gives 100%. How many 100% do you have to give? But I think this is where I say we need more women leaders. Only a woman could understand it. A man who's seeing his sister carrying the child to the workspace would only smirk, would only say how unsafe it is for the child. But only a woman can understand that she cannot leave the child back at home. There's nobody else to take care. And she cannot neglect her work, because if she does, then again, she's lost many years of experience and she's going to become nobody and start again. Only another woman can understand the nuances in sexism. How you're not expected to be there in a space. And I've never seen a stage like this in a political stage where it is full of women. I'm sometimes the only woman there, or only it is men on stage. And when there is a woman on stage, it's only you can see raised eyebrows. So this is why we need more women leaders. We need women speaking up. So don't ever hesitate. Don't wait for somebody else to speak before you. Be the first. And that is the opportunity you create. And that is the opportunity you create not only for yourself, you are creating the opportunity, you are being the inspiration to so many other women. So when you take up this challenge, you are opening up opportunities for thousands and thousands and thousands of women all over the world. So be the leaders, be the change, and all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We extend a heartfelt thanks and deep gratitude for you to sharing your invaluable insights on leadership. Your words have been truly inspiring, empowering, and guiding force for aspiring leaders. We assure you we'll encourage our students to read Periyar and build strong networks to reach